In this episode of Vintage Tractors and Machinery, we travel to Heyfield in eastern Victoria, nestled in the foothills of the Great Dividing Range. Cold and wet conditions greeted competitors in the 2011 Heyfield Vintage Tractor event. Today we have Fordsons, John Deere's, McCormack's, Chamberlain's, just to name a few that are running here this weekend. The track is wet and greasy, which should make for a very interesting track to book. On screen at the moment is one of the dominant big horsepower Chamberlain's, which is the first tractor away for the weekend. Momentarily the weather has cleared, the sun is shining at the moment, and the Chamberlain is usually going through its paces quite easily at the moment. The track is still very wet and greasy, but a little bit of sunshine, maybe it can dry out a little bit. The Chamberlain isn't labouring at the moment. First tractor on the track, so it's not really chopped up or anything, so you've probably got a easy run. The rest of the track is following probably really more laboured. Well, the Chamberlain doing it quite easily, not too many revs. Another one of the big Chamberlains ready to take off, plenty of horsepower this particular tractor. Ready, it's away now, just taking it easy off the line now, starting to thread a little bit of power into the big Chamberlain, a bit of exhaust coming, smoke coming from the stack, and really it doesn't seem to be causing any problems. This slippery track to that big Chamberlain as it just with not much effort, just dragging the sled along on this grease. A little bit of slip there from the rear tyres, but at the moment the big Chamberlain is pulling this sled in the wet conditions, and not too much effort from the big Chamberlains as they're heading down towards the end of the pool.
No problems for the big Chamberlain.
Next up is a Fordsons Major. Whoa, big wheel spin on this wet, greasy track from the Fordsons McCormack Farmhall, and proving a little bit more at home in the wet, greasy conditions here at Heyfield is the McCormack. Really, you're doing a great job as it's pulled most of the course. It's heading up towards the end of the pool now, and it's been a pretty good run from that McCormack Farmhall as it comes to the end of its run. That was a good steady run by the McCormack as it comes to the end of its pull. Next up, as we wait for the next tractor to come on screen, and it's a little John Deere, and still in the wet conditions. As you can see, rain starts to fall now. A little bit of a struggle from the John Deere, but still its handling is quite brave in these wet, greasy conditions here at Heyfield. As we see, the John Deere has probably completed about 3/4 of the course now as it's heading up towards the end of the pool, and they're just about to make it. A nice steady run by the little John Deere, and it's still a little bit of twitch there, but it's still pulling quite well as it's heading up towards the end of the run. Probably just about make it in the little John Deere. Next is another Farmhall, McCormack Farmhall, just coming up the track now as it's just taking off. Sun is out at the moment, so which is a good thing because it's been wet, cold, windy, rain down here at Heyfield. But at the moment, briefly, the sun is poking through as the McCormack Farmhall is just taking it steady, not really causing too much of a drama. Next on track is a wet condition. Now the rain is again upon us. It's pelting down now, and this Fordsons Major is handling a little bit better conditions than the previous Major. And it's very wet, as you can see, but this experienced driver is certainly not putting too many revs into this particular tractor, and doing a pretty good job in that Fordsons Major as he's heading up towards, beautifully turned out tractor as well, as he's heading up towards the end of the pool, and he's going to make it a successful run. Not too many revs, but a good run by that beautifully turned out Fordsons Major as he heads to the end of the run. As we see the recovery tractor, the David Brown, just coming up, quite popular around these parts in recovery. He's just coming up behind the back of the successful pull from that Fordsons Major to recover the sled to take it back to the starting line for our next competitor, and here he is now. It's an E27N, beautifully turned out petrol Caro unit, blue paint job, yellow wheels, experienced punter on this one. and sun's starting to shine now as the E27N begins its run. Not too many revs, but the old girl seems to be handling it quite nicely as he's finished about quarter to run at this particular point. But at the moment, no big dramas, not really too many revs, but the track doesn't seem to be labouring too much. No wheel sprint, so there's plenty of grip as the sun still stays up. How long for we don't know, but the E27 are just moving along snail's pace, so he's just taking it easy. Hopefully he can get to the end of the run in this particular effort, but at the moment the E27 and the Fordson is doing a pretty good job, just taking it easy. No big dramas. If we can get to the end of the run, but at the moment probably about halfway down the run now and still doesn't seem to be labouring. The operator's just putting on enough revs just to keep the momentum going of that E27N. They're probably about half distance now and still no big dramas at the moment, so it could be a pretty successful run. Not a very quick one, probably one of the slowest runs of the afternoon at the moment, but it's still not showing any signs of a little bit of spin on the back wheel is there, another little bit of a spin, but it's still going along and looks like the way things are going. Not too many revs, just staying on that in that rev range at the moment. And as we see the weight heading over the top of the sled, it looks like this could be a pretty successful run for the E27N as it's heading up towards the end of the run now. And I think that's going to be just about done it. So it's really started to load now, a bit of wheel spin, and I think that's where it's it. And not too bad a run for the little the blue E27N. That was some of the highlights of the very wet and cold 2011 Vintage Tractor Pull at Heyfield in Eastern Victoria. Join us next time on the Vintage Tractor and Machinery channel when we once again will be featuring tractors and machinery from yesteryear. Until then, it's goodbye from Heyfield.